Nova Drift is a roguelike top-down shooter, which at the moment is in early access, which normally I try to avoid making videos about, but this is an exception. The core elements of the game are all here, and playing it now versus playing it when it's done is probably not gonna be too big of a difference. In fact, the only thing promised to be in the full version of the game is a campaign, which sounds fun, but there is already enough stuff to talk about right now, so let's do that. The premise is that you are this thing and several other things try to kill you. I sure hope that campaign gives us some more context. As I have already stated, Nova Drift is a roguelike, so it better have a lot of replayability, which luckily it does. The main gameplay loop consists of killing, upgrading, dying, starting over, but we should really only focus on the killing and upgrading parts. The upgrades are really neat. First of all, you have your 3 core upgrades, your ship, your weapon, your shield. These 3 completely change how your run will go, but that is not to say that the other upgrades don't. Your ship mostly, though not always, changes how you fight. The engineer ship buffs your minion ships, the broadside ship makes you good at broadsiding, the assault ship lets you shoot faster, yeah, you get it. Then you have your weapons. You have flamethrowers, shotguns, railguns, missiles, black hole guns, boring guns, and so on. Then you have your shields, which exist, I suppose. They're cool, but eh. But then you have your quote-unquote normal upgrades, which is where things start getting real interesting. There are obviously your simple stat increases, but there's also upgrades which let you teleport, leave a trail of fire behind you, or turn yourself into a cruise missile. Finding that one upgrade which lets you turn your railgun into a rapid-fire machine gun is always impactful, more so when you upgrade it with heat-seeking bullets, turning it into a rapid-fire missile launcher. You can make some truly exotic builds here, and most of them are completely viable. Here are some of my favorites. All missiles. Daka. Snek. I could go on, but I won't, because we need to talk about the music. Usually it's graphics first, but I've got nothing. What you see is what you get, but I do have things to say about the music, mostly as compliments. I like it, it's fast, it's fun, it fits perfectly with the look of the game. Like, if I had never heard the music, this is what I think it would sound like by just looking at the game. Also, on the non-music side, the sounds of the game are also pretty good. If you're making a game where you're gonna be hearing one sound a lot, that sound needs to sound good, and Nova Drift understands that. Obviously, listening to the rapid-fire railgun firing for 10 minutes straight is gonna get on your nerves. But unlike other games, I don't find the sound in the game super important gameplay-wise, so I guess you could just turn the sounds off and be left with just the music. I haven't tried it, but I think you could. Like, the enemies obviously play sounds when they shoot and stuff, but everything is so chaotic you probably won't notice. Speaking of enemies, I like them, but I do see some things missing. There are your simple expendables, your bosses, your tanks, your elites, but there's no support. Which I think the game could really use. Let's do a very unrelated example, Doom Eternal. In that game you also have your expendables, your bosses, your tanks, your elites, but you also have your support, like the Archvile. He both buffs and summons enemies, so when you see him you need to pause everything you're doing and focus on killing him, which gives the other enemies a time to shine. Something like that would be really nice to have in Nova Drift. I mean, there is this guy, but he's hardly a problem. What about an enemy that can take some damage but makes other enemies take even more, so when you see him you need to hunt him down before you can kill anyone else? I don't know if this would work, but I think it could, though as I'm saying this, the developers have said they're doing an Enemies 2.0 update, which might change my mind. I don't know, just seems like a missed opportunity. The developers have also promised to add a boss rush mode, which I'm really looking forward to. I also like the way the game handles difficulties. Instead of having something like easy, medium, hard, it has several options that can be toggled on and off. More enemies, more hazards, harder bosses, and so on. But at this point I'm just listing a bunch of notes, so I think I'll stop now. Anyway, the game is great, probably gonna be even better when it's done. Overall, I recommend it. Good music, good visuals, good gameplay. I hope that you liked the video. If you did, subscribe. If you didn't, don't. This video wasn't about a card game. That's it, bye.